It's the Hughes It or Lose It show.
Because everyone's got an opinion with Frazierhughes.com.
I am Frazierhughes.com, and welcome to the Hughes It or Lose It radio show here on Fox Radio 910, streaming at foxradioroanoke.com. You can listen to us anywhere. That's anywhere. I mean, anywhere. You can listen to us on a mountain, on a train, through your brain. It's insane. Go to foxradioroanoke.com. Real simple. Here, I'll do it with you on the computer. Just type in Fox Radio Roanoke. That's foxradioroanoke.com. And then listen anywhere. And you can do this on your smartphone right now, too. And then download the app for your Droid, your iPhone or your BlackBerry, iPad. Listen to us anywhere. Anywhere. And some very cool shows here on Fox Radio 910. The Dennis Miller Show, After Mine, Dan Patrick Show, The Dan Patrick Show, JMU Sports, The Herman Cain Show, Laura Ingram. I mean, there's something for everybody. There is. Even the Savage Nation, Michael Savage, is on here. And NASCAR, local talk, including the Hughes It or Lose It show, the most creative local radio show here in the city with me, your host, Frazierhughes.com. And I want you to connect with me. Go to HughesItOrLoseIt.com. Click on the social media tab. Foursquare, Pinterest, Instagram, YouTube, over 300 to 400 videos of me. And tweet me, Hughes or Lose. Like me on Facebook at FrazierHughes.com. Enough about me. Let's talk about you for a minute. So a very special treat in store this evening, because I don't do a lot of interviews on this show. I really don't. I am so extremely busy. I have got 3 kids in 2 different cities, and I'm working a full-time job trying to juggle being with them. I'm on the TV show Tuned Out, which if you haven't checked out, just Google tunedouttv.com. I play Mike Vinyl. And we actually just won an award. Roanoke magazine has given us an award, which was pretty exciting. And let's see here. What was the award? I've got it here on my Facebook page. The Best of Roanoke 2013. Platinum for Best Free Laughs. And the K92 morning thing came in first. So, Hughes it or lose it. You agree or you disagree? I mean, do you love the morning thing on K92? Lose it if you think so, or Hughes it if you love it. Why? Because everybody's got an opinion. And tonight, I get an opportunity to do one of my first up close and personal interviews, or actually the first on the Hughes It or Lose It show. And I have done some interviews in the past, local PSA announcements. When I was with Clear Channel Radio, I'd have people come in once a week and ask them questions. I have interviewed people as a PA announcer with the Roanoke Steam. Quick interviews, usually 1 to 2 minutes, in a stadium atmosphere. And then in the studio, I did do some longer interviews. But this was definitely one of the more interesting interviews that I have done with one of the more interesting people. And that is a guy who was pretty persistent about getting onto the show, okay? And let me just tell you, at first, I didn't want to do it, okay? And it's not because I don't like him, it's just because I'm really busy. I mean, if you're like me and you're hectic, I mean, your time is valuable. But once I made some time to go and meet River Laker, it was quite a treat. And let me just tell you this: when I first heard of River Laker, I heard about the guy that rode his bike to work, okay, the carless Brit. And then what really stood out to me was him stripping at 202 in downtown Roanoke. And I was like, why in the world would a guy strip? I mean, would you actually strip out in public? Hughes it or lose it. Why? Because everybody's got an opinion. I mean, either you agree or you disagree. I mean, just ask somebody for their opinion, and they're definitely going to give it to you, especially when it comes to stripping or something else. I mean, come on, folks. I mean, I don't think I'd take my clothes off in public, but he actually did this sober, and I mean, it was pretty crazy. Yeah, it was pretty crazy. In fact, do you remember when I used to do Hughes It or Lose It's from the closet? Do you remember that? Or Hughes News from the closet? Well, I even did a special on it back in 2011, or actually a brief story.
I live in the town of Roanoke, Virginia, and there's a bar here called 202. A lot of people like to go there. And recently, the Square Society put on a charity event called Valentini. This is where you would go and auction off a bachelor, and somebody would buy you. So usually when I would get auctioned off, I go for $20,000. Anyways, there was a participant, and his name is River Laker. You can find the guy on Facebook. He gets on stage to be auctioned, and the guy strips. Yeah, you're not supposed to take all your clothes off. In fact, this is not a strip club. The guy gets down to his bare essentials, and he's got a leaf covering his peanuts. That's pretty crazy if you ask me. The manager comes up and says, "Hey man, you got to stop doing this." 9 days later, today, the ABC is fining 202. Should 202 be fined? Use it or lose it.
We even did a special on River Laker on the TV show that I'm on, Tuned Out, where I play Mike Vinyl, and we had a River Laker Day, which was pretty interesting.
And we just need to get, I believe all we need to get is River.
All right. What else we got to get? I'm ready to roll.
The story even hit the AP wire.
An impromptu striptease has caused trouble for a city employee and the bar in Roanoke, Virginia, where it happened. The man stripping down to nothing is River Laker. He works in the development office of Roanoke's main library. He was at the 202 market last Friday night for a fundraiser for a local young professionals group. But once word of the striptease got out, the 202 market got a visit from an investigator with Virginia's Department of Alcoholic Beverage Control.
From watching the video and talking to her, I feel like she got the sense that we didn't really have anything to do with this.
General Manager Zachary Rosenoff says security got Laker out of the bar as quickly as possible.
And I told her, when we asked him to leave, he didn't seem intoxicated, and even when we were all watching him up on the stage, there wasn't any signs of intoxication or stumbling.
Local station WSLS attempted to reach Laker by phone and at his office, but was told he was unavailable. Other city officials also declined to comment on the incident. A Roanoke spokesperson did issue a statement saying, since the matter happened on individual personal time and at a private event, it would be inappropriate for the city administration to discuss the matter. While the ABC and city officials decide if there will be any punishments for the bar or Laker, he is no longer welcome at the 202 market. Matt Friedman, The Associated Press.
Well, there's much more to River Laker than the striptease that took place at 202 here in the city of Roanoke, Virginia. He is an interesting individual. In fact, very creative, very kind-hearted, and very inspirational. In fact, he likes to do things that are new and different, outside of the box, inspire others, and encourage others to challenge themselves. Do something different in your life. Do something you've always wanted to do. And we're going to discuss some of the things that he's done that are pretty cool, that I think that you all will admire, and he'll answer questions about stripping at 202. Do you believe him? Is he believable? Do you find him kind-hearted? Use it or lose it. I go inside of his home, get up close and personal with River. It's the exclusive interview with me, your host, Frazierhughes.com. This is the Hughes It or Lose It radio show on Fox Radio 910. Okay, so right now I'm inside River's house. And River, I want to thank you for inviting me over to your house. Very kind of you.
You're welcome.
And you had just told me that as you're sitting here at your brown wooden table, your decor, I love the ambiance. We've got, what color are your walls painted here?
I think it's Arizona Sun.
Arizona Sun.
Yeah.
Did you do this yourself?
No, I met a lady at Lowe's who saw me looking at paints and could see I was frustrated, so offered to follow me home, and she's chosen all the color schemes. She
followed you home?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, it doesn't get any better than that. I mean, you're at Lowe's or Home Depot, and the person not only helps you pick out the paint, but says, "Hey, I'll go to your house and paint the room for you." How freaking awesome is that? Use it or lose it. Now, on the wall here, this painting of the girl, what's that?
That's by Roanoke artist Brian Sal Corral.
Okay.
It was on display at, I think, Mill Mountain Coffee years ago when he lived in town.
Okay.
So I bought that. It's one of my favorites.
It's pretty.
Yeah.
I like that. And behind you,
That's a photograph by Christine Carr.
Uh-huh.
She's a photography professor at Hollins University.
Awesome. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I really like this. You've got a wooden statue here on the floor. What is that?
That is Cecilia. That was a gift from a lady I met, art critic who lived in Roanoke and moved away and gave it to me.
And as we sit here, River Laker is also sitting to my right. He's got his laptop out, which I absolutely love. You have an Apple, what is it?
MacBook Pro.
MacBook Pro, okay. And I've been wanting to get one of these.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to probably get a cosigner for it.
Yeah.
And as you notice, if you've never heard River before, he's got an accent. River Laker, you are from
Southeast England.
Southeast England, okay.
Yeah.
And here in our area, you may or may have not heard of River Laker. I know I certainly had. And the first time I heard your name, River, let me ask you this, because everybody asks me this. Is Frazier your real name? I just want to let you know Frazier is my real name.
Okay.
It's on my birth certificate. I'm Junior. My actually first name is Russell. Is your real name River Laker?
That's my legal name. I was born, originally I was Jeremy.
Okay.
Then I was adopted and named Robert.
Okay.
And then it was Joseph, Carl, and something else.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Gotcha.
Yeah.
And so River, you go by River. People just say, "Hey, River, what's going on, man?"
Yeah, that's my name.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome. And like I said, my name's Frazier.
Okay.
All right. So, hey, good to see you. So
You too.
just meeting River here, I mean, I just met him for the first time. Interesting that you were adopted. Has your life had any, was it weird being adopted? Because both my mom was adopted, and a couple of very important women in my life, the mothers of my children, were both adopted. Was that weird for you being adopted?
No, it seemed, I have a brother and a sister. They're both adopted too from different origins.
Okay.
I was adopted when I was, I think, about 6 months old.
Okay.
So it just seemed normal. I have found my, I guess, birth mother.
Oh, my mom did the same thing.
Yeah, we haven't met. I pretended I was someone else. So
Okay, cool.
We wrote to each other. It's weird because we write in the same style.
Okay.
Yeah, she's an artist in Italy.
Now, what's holding you back from maybe like having a real conversation with her or talking to her?
I think it's a concern that maybe on my part it's more kind of a fascination type thing rather than wanting to jump into the whole depth
Gotcha.
of what would really be involved.
Well, my youngest, the mother of my youngest, her real mom, she hasn't found her. And, I've kind of encouraged her, like my heart has felt, like, hey, you should find her, you should find her. I mean, hell, she could be a millionaire.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I'm kidding. But I thought it would be kind of cool. But then, like, my mom found her real mom, but it ended up being a really good experience. And they both ended up having a lot in common.
I think my brother's met his birth mother and they hit it off pretty well.
That's cool.
Yeah.
It's got to be a pretty emotional and
It was for them.
amazing
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah.
I can't imagine. So let's talk a little bit about you. How long have you been in Roanoke? How did you end up here in the Star City?
I came to the US originally as a camp counselor. Actually got fired for getting the kids to scream too much.
Okay.
I always find that funny to do that. But then I travelled the US, went back to England to school, to Middlesex University, then came to Radford University as an exchange student, and pretty much ended up staying here from that point on, although it was intended to be a one-semester visit.
And so how long has that been now? You've been here in the area?
20 years.
20 years.
Yeah.
And so really your name surfacing on the radar screen probably, I want to say past 5 to 10 years here in Roanoke.
Past 5 years.
Okay, past 5 years.
Yeah.
And the first thing that comes to my attention is you riding a bike to work. And as I walked to your home tonight, I said, hey, can you tell me what kind of car is out front? Because the streets here are stacked and packed with cars. And I was like, all I got to do is look for the car. And you said, hey, I don't have a car out front. And so I was like, okay, cool. He's still riding a bike, which, I just had a hip replacement. So I've got to ride. I can ride a bike, but I can't run. So I've been riding a bike for about probably 8 months now, and I really like it.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's cool.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It's a good experience. You really feel free out there.
Yeah.
Until you get hit by the city bus, and you actually carry your laptop. This is like a $3,000 laptop in your backpack on the way to work. So if you're looking to mug someone, steal their laptop, he's got it on him. Okay. And you said, "Hey, I'm not really concerned about the laptop, just more my head." Right? Yeah. Okay, that's a smarter answer. All right. So being the Carless Brit. That's where you first began surfacing in Roanoke. How did that all come about, the Carless Brit? Because I remember seeing a news story on you, and I was like, this guy's riding his bike all the time. I was like, that's cool. I mean, I like to run, but...
Yeah, that was... originally, it was a very spontaneous thing. In England, we tend to drive faster around the urban areas. So I used to drive fast, and I got extremely frustrated if there was a car driver in front of me, they wouldn't get out of the way, getting parking, the police hiding, to catch you if you don't totally stop at a stop sign. And I think maybe during the week, I just suddenly thought, why deal with this stress? I don't have to. So I just put the car on Craigslist, I think on Friday, and it was gone by probably Sunday.
Okay.
And then I had to decide, I hadn't really planned what to do, just to be rid of the car was the goal. And so I realized I was going to have to get around somehow, so I started riding the bike.
And how did Carless Brit come about? I mean, how did...
I posted, I think, on Facebook, I've sold my car. And then Jeremy Holmes from Ride Solutions and Stuart Meese, who used to work for the city, kind of to attract young
professionals. He was in that band, wasn't he in a band, Stuart Meese?
I don't think so.
All right, maybe it's the wrong Stuart.
Okay. So they contacted me and we met up, and they wanted me to commit to going for a year without a car and document about it. And we whittled it down to 6 months commitment, and I did daily blogs, contacted media, and it kind of just became organic and caught on with the citizens of Roanoke.
Did people actually know who you were and would honk at you?
Yeah, and I think it was quite an unusual thing at that time in Roanoke to choose to go without a car. It wasn't that I had to. And then also it wasn't totally an environmental reason, it was more a personal reason. But I think it communicated the environmental issues, although it wasn't kind of preachy. It was very lighthearted and obviously I was enjoying the experience.
So the citizens embraced it?
Yeah, I think one of the highlights was 3 months into it, we had, when I worked at the library, something called Carless Brit's Carless Roanoke Party.
Yeah, I remember that. And when you started making a name for yourself with Carless Brit, that's about the time Facebook began surfacing. I think so.
Yeah.
People really began to, hey, I can go post this on Facebook and get attention. And that's exactly where I think I saw you. I kept on seeing these pictures.
Yeah, and that was an amazing event. We had about 300 citizens show up, and they could only come if they had come in anything other than a one-person driven car. So there was like tiny little kids skipping to the library, people riding their bikes, carpooling. And it was a tremendous night, such great community, community spirit.
That's cool. And so is there a way we can find out more about the Carless Brit? Do you have anything up on the internet?
Yeah, there's a bunch of videos on YouTube under my channel, River Laker. On YouTube. So check him out on YouTube. Okay, so you still ride the bike. Is it like a special type of bike that you ride? Or just a regular old bike? I'm not that interested in bikes as such. I just use them to get around.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. Do you wear a helmet?
No.
Do not wear a helmet. Okay. All right. So, and you see a lot of people around here with helmets on. So the big question here is, would you, go a year without driving your car and ride a freaking bike to work? Hughes it or lose it. Why? Because everybody's got an opinion, and we're up close and personal with Roanoke's River Laker tonight here on the Hughes It or Lose It show with me, your host, Frazierhughes.com, interviewing him here at the table in his home. And River, thank you so much for having me here. Coming up next, we're going to talk about what went down at 202. Okay, and I'm going to give you my opinion. Also, you're writing a book. You had a lot of things go on with you, and I'm really interested in you, and so are many others. This is the Hughes It or Lose It show. I'm your host, Frazierhughes.com. Stick around for more River Laker next here on Fox Radio 910.
It's the Hughes It or Lose It show.
Because everyone's got an opinion with Frazierhughes.com.
Welcome back to the Hughes It or Lose It radio show. I'm your host, Frazierhughes.com. Here at Fox Radio 910, we are streaming at foxradioroanoke.com. Frazierhughes.com. And you can listen to us anywhere, smartphones, BlackBerry, Droid, iPad. And right now I'm up close and personal in his home. Yeah, I got full access to Roanoke's most famous bike rider. Yeah, his name is River Laker, and I'm in his house interviewing him up close and personal. Let me ask you this, River. Has anybody, come into your home and interviewed you before? Am I the first guy?
You're not, actually.
Okay, cool. Great. All right, so who else came in here?
Roanoke, some folks in the Roanoke Times, photographer and writer, about the Carlos Brit.
About the Carlos Brit.
Yeah,
okay.
breakfast.
All right, cool. So you've done a lot of things here. You didn't ride. You did not drive a car to work for a year. How long was that commute? Was it just 100 yards?
It was only about 2 miles.
About 2 miles.
Yeah.
Okay. And so you really made a name for yourself doing that. And tell us about Beg, Barter, Steal, Lie, or Live Without Cash.
Okay, that was when we were at the peak of the economic crisis.
Okay.
And I was thinking, a lot of people were getting short of cash. They weren't earning enough in their jobs, or they couldn't find a job. And I was thinking there must be a way for people to get what they need without exchanging cash. So I committed to living with also a guy named Ron McCorkle. He's kind of known in town for environmental stuff. But we wanted to live for 30 days without using cash for anything, although I did pay my mortgage and my electricity bills, food.
Okay,
cash.
but no credit card either, right?
No credit card, food, getting around, everything, no cash. And I couldn't hoard up food beforehand. I had to have my cupboards empty.
The first thing that comes to my mind, is the rescue mission will feed you 3 squares a day. Right?
Yeah,
Could you go there?
I could have gone there, but I was
Okay.
uncomfortable because I felt it'd be taken.
Right, because you're like, hey, I'm not homeless.
Yeah.
I got a mortgage. This is okay. So, what did you do to survive? For those 30 days.
Well, the first day it dawned on me what I decided to do, and I kind of panicked and called a friend, John Johnson, up about 5 a.m, asking if I could come cut his grass for breakfast.
Right.
And I did. I went over there and cut his grass. But then I kind of got into the flow, and I did things like, it was spring, I think, so I cut flowers, and I exchanged cut flowers for, breakfast cereal, made a couple of videos for chocolate paper, and bread craft. So I didn't want to have to change my lifestyle. I still wanted my chocolate. So I did the video for chocolate paper, then I had a month's supply of chocolate and breakfast stuff at Bread Craft. We're making a video for them.
Oh, awesome.
We tried dumpster diving. Where you go and find food that the stores have thrown out.
Yeah.
Well, we weren't successful at that. We got some moldy donuts, but that was it.
So you actually really did go into a dumpster to try to find a meal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I did research, and the research was that you get all this tremendous food, thrown out, but we didn't find that.
Yeah, most of that probably does go to the rescue mission. They're getting loads of it. That's a question for you listening right now. Could you go 30 days, without using cash? Would you be willing to go into a dumpster and get a meal? Hughes it or lose it? Why? Because everybody's got an opinion with me, Frazierhughes.com, up close and personal in the home of River Laker right now. And so how did that go, that 30 days? Was it pretty successful?
Yeah.
Did it enlighten you? Did it open you up?
Yeah, I think the purpose of it was to show that we have latent talents and abilities that we can use when we need to survive. And I think it showed that was true. Looking back on it, I'm amazed that I managed 30 days, without using cash. But if you have to, you can. But it does it's really difficult when you're doing that to think long term. So it's hard to be thinking about, I'm looking for a job, or I've got to do this, got to do that, because your mind's just occupied with where is my next meal coming from? What can I do to get my next meal?
Maybe it's good. Maybe it helps us live in the moment.
Maybe.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about 202, okay? There was some sort of striptease down there. From what I remember, I think boxer shorts, and that's it, right? Were you working for the city? What happened there?
There was a bachelorette auction. Square Society hosted it.
Okay.
That's where you kind of stand on a stage and you write some spiel. The DJs speak as you stand there.
Yeah, I did some auction with the radio a couple years back at let's see here, Metro downtown, like Valentini, and they auction people off. So they auctioned you. They auctioned you off.
Yeah, and I didn't want to do it. I was asked a number of times to do it, and I said no. Then they kept on, so I said okay, I'll do it. And so I didn't like the concept. To me, it kind of reeked almost of human trafficking. The idea that you hand over money and you get a date with someone.
Get a date, right?
It just seemed kind of sleazy to me.
It would have been. I think it might be better if they had maybe they put a panel of experts together. Maybe they get some local therapists. This is just off the cuff. Some local therapists in town, and maybe put you in a room and had you take a personality test, and then they said, River, we think maybe these two people in the room would best serve you. Okay, so we're gonna let you all sit together for 10 minutes each, kind of like speed dating.
Yeah.
But then have people that really know what they're talking about, and then see how you both felt. How do you feel? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Opposed to the human trafficking.
Yeah, and so I ran it by a board member of the Square Society, what I wanted to do, which was kind of a humorous way of subverting the event. And you could say protest, but I don't really like that word. So I decided just to go up on stage, and a lot of the people who were the bachelors and bachelorettes being auctioned off, they'd kind of strut, in a sexy way, lift up the shirt.
Yeah, they'll walk they're like on the catwalk.
Yeah. And so I didn't want to do that. So I just basically just stood there, like you're in a locker room, and just took one piece of clothing off after another, emotionless. That's why it wasn't a striptease.
Sure.
And I just had a bike helmet, which I thought would be fun because I was known for being colour spirit.
Yeah.
And then to make it pretty, Fresh Market gave me some flowers. Donated me flowers for the performance, and so I had those sticking out the air vents of the helmet, and just kind of took off all my clothes. So I was just standing there with the bike helmet and flowers.
Okay, so you didn't have you were totally naked except for the bike helmet and flowers.
Yeah, I was wearing a bike helmet and flowers instead of traditional clothes.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
So the bike helmet was in the front and the flowers are in the back?
No, the back wasn't covered. I wasn't actually aware of.
Gotcha. Okay, and so
it was an issue.
Everybody, were there adults only there?
Yeah.
Okay. And so what happened? I mean, why did everybody, I can understand, hey, why is this guy taking off his clothes? Okay, he took off his clothes. He's having a good time. He's trying to be fun.
I wasn't having a good time.
No. Okay, you weren't having a good time. Okay. At first, if I saw you take your clothes off at this event, I'd be kind of like, why is he doing that? Okay, all right, whatever floats your boat. Was it just 202 that got bent out of shape, or was it the ABC, or was everybody else cool with it? How did people react?
There was a few local people who got very bent out of shape, who were very vocal about that. Most people I spoke with understood the spirit of it. They knew the previous experiments I'd done, the Carla Spirit, Beg, Barter, Steal, and other ones, that there was always a meaning, substance behind what I did, so that they knew there was a purpose behind what I did there, which there was, which, as I've explained. But Square Society got all bent out of shape, although their board member had given me permission to do it explicitly several times. And 202 I don't understand 202. They gave the security video to the media themselves. They didn't have to, and that's why it was on TV every night.
Gotcha.
But,
how did that make you feel? Were you upset? Were you like, hey, whatever? How did everybody else react around you?
It was very difficult at work. It put them in an unfortunate position of being caught in the middle. Citizens were calling the city,
oh my
protesting. Media came to, hound me at work.
All right, so right now, this is just a great opportunity, and it's a pleasure of mine to be interviewing River Laker of Roanoke here on the Hughes It or Lose It radio show. And coming up next, we're going to hear about his book that he's writing. Is that correct? And also, what are you doing now here in Roanoke?
Started a PR business, Silver Seas PR, with two partners.
We got to go to break, but after the break, we're going to come back. We're going to talk about your PR business and your book. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Good. Right here on the Hughes It or Lose It radio show. I'm your host, Frazierhughes.com, interviewing River Laker in his house. This is Fox Radio 910.
It's the Hughes It or Lose It show.
Because everyone's got an opinion with Frazierhughes.com.
This is the Hughes It or Lose It radio show with your host, Frazierhughes.com, here on Fox Radio 910. And if it sounds a little bit different tonight, that's because I'm in a house with a wireless mic. recording River Laker, an up-close and personal interview with Roanoke's River Laker. You've heard about him, the Carlos Britt, the striptease at 202, but what a genuine individual. River, you seem like a really humble guy, unless you're fooling me, but I've enjoyed this interview so far and really want to thank you for, bringing me into your home, allowing me to come in here and ask you some questions.
You're welcome.
And find out more about you. What an interesting guy. Probably one of Roanoke's most interesting folks. So right now you are writing a book, and I think most people won't admit this, but I think anybody that you talk to would probably like to write a book.
Yeah.
Everybody's got a book in them. Something that they. I've wanted to write a book about maybe short meditations or parenting. I got through the first chapter of parenting, and I totally just melted down and had to burn the rest of the book. But
I've tried before too. I wrote about 400 words, and I bored myself after 400 words. So.
Of what, parenting?
No, of just some book.
Some regular book.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And it's got to be a passion,
Yeah.
You've got these short books people can put on Amazon these days. Tell me a little bit about your book and what's inspiring you to write it. Where did it all come from?
I was totally inspired by the authors I'm working with who are clients of Silver Seas PR. We're working with a number of authors who have a book coming out, and Silver Seas PR, our job is to promote that book, to get them interviews and media coverage, from print, TV, radio, and also from going to a writers' conference. But just meeting these writers, seeing what they've written, and the huge barriers there are to getting actually an audience for what they've written. It's really increased my respect for people who choose to be writers, and it's a privilege through Silver Seas to be working to help promote these folks. But through being surrounded by these authors of all different genres, like thrillers, romance, all this sort of thing, basically I just decided I want to write one too.
Cool.
So.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Right now, interviewing in his home, River Laker of Roanoke on the Hughes or Lose It radio show. When I think of writing here in Roanoke, a friend of mine goes to Hollins, and she's been, sharing some of her writings with me. And they have, believe it or not, Hollins has a lot of famous authors fly into town for the students.
Yeah.
And they'll go there. Famous graduates, poets. Tell us a little bit about your book. Is it a secret, or what is it about?
No, I can tell you as much as I know about it.
Okay.
It's I have a working title for it. It's called Before Flying High.
Okay, Before Flying High.
Yeah, and it's going to be
that makes me think of before I went into rehab. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was flying high. Well, actually, I was flying more high after I got off the alcohol and drugs, but never mind. Tell me what it means to you.
Okay. Mostly what it means is the concept. Flying high to me is the concept of living totally as you were created to, like living purposefully according to your unique makeup. And so the book it's a fictional memoir on someone's life before they got to the point of flying high.
That's
It's
cool.
going to be a collection of short stories of the literary fiction genre.
Okay, and so you said something there that kind of stuck out to me. You living by what did you say? The purpose you're supposed to live by?
Yeah, I guess yeah.
I totally butchered that, but
well, everybody's unique, different. We all have different abilities, personality, talents, and desires. And I think a key thing of life is living authentically, according to your own particular makeup.
Sure.
And so I think for myself, a lot of the experiments I've done, activities I do, it's almost like kind of a search, for finding the thing that you're most suited for.
Sure. Do you know what that thing is yet, River? Do you have an idea what you're most suited for?
Yes, I do.
Do you want to share it with us?
No, I'm not comfortable.
Okay. All right. I understand.
Okay.
And the thing is that right now, besides the 202 thing, I'm feeling a very gentle spirit, a very someone that is motivated to make a difference in the world, and also you have a very good positive vibrations about you. Just really good energy. And I think probably most people that you come in touch with are probably just really happy to meet you. So I bet your book is going to be awesome.
Thanks. Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah. How many stories are going to be in it?
I don't know. It'd be a lot. I'm thinking of having pictures, music and videos to go along with it.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Like, say they're reading the book. Well, if they're reading on their Kindle, maybe they could click the link, see the video.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
You know,
It's almost like an app, I suppose. Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you could do it all.
Yeah.
You can have the app, the Kindle book, the regular book.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll lay it in the bed at night. My kids will ask me to tell them stories, and I'm like, I should write these down because these would make kick-ass kids books. Okay, so that's pretty cool. You're writing a book.
I have an editor too already.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Normandy Fisher.
Cool. Where is Normandy Fisher out
She's
of?
a writer in North Carolina.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, so when do you think your book may be done? Could it be 2 years? Could
No,
it be
I'd like to do it within the year.
Within the year.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Awesome. So the book is called again?
Before Flying High.
Before Flying High, a collection of short stories by River Laker. Awesome. Well, I'm excited to hear about that when it comes out and get a glimpse of it. Okay, so you right now, you did work for the city, okay?
Yeah.
Now, when you left the city, did that have to do with 202 at all, or you were just like out of there anyways? You wanted to do something different?
I was there for 5 years.
Okay. What did you do for them?
It was creative development.
Okay.
I think. I used to change my job title. I think it was creative development, something
Okay.
like that. Yeah, my job was kind of to make the library popular, culturally relevant.
The library?
Yeah.
The downtown library?
Yeah.
Have they ever thought about tearing it down? I mean, because that one out there in the county, I mean, rocks, doesn't it, compared to the one downtown? Or maybe there's some nostalgia there.
I don't know. Yeah,
Okay.
no comment on that.
All right, gotcha. All right, so right now you do you own this PR firm with somebody else, or
There's three of us.
Three of you own
Yeah.
it? And how long has it been in existence? What's it called, and what do you do for others?
We launched approximately December the 20th to make it as difficult as possible right
Okay.
before Christmas.
Great. While everybody's off work.
Yeah. And then it started with the two partners, Jessica. I always forget how to say her last name. Jessica Dota. It's Jessica Dota or Dotter.
Okay.
And Gina Holmes. They're both authors with good book deals. Jessica's a publicist in Columbia, outside Nashville.
Okay.
Anyway, after the whole 202 thing, they approached me and said, hey, you seem like ideally suited to be a publicist. So we talked about it, and very quickly I was like, okay, let's do it, but let's do it together. So we launched it, and we have the focus of the company, Silver Seas PR, is on cultural creatives. Basically, people who are doing something culturally that we think's creative.
Okay.
And that could be books, authors, filmmakers, musicians, like sneakerheads, and generally upstarts, people who are doing something different. And
Yeah, like if I
adventurous.
wanted to do something with Hughes or Lose It, you could
Yeah,
help
that'd
me. Okay.
Yeah, that sort of thing.
All right, cool. And so what would you say some of your challenges are?
Sometimes the challenge is that someone who maybe is doing something really adventurous and innovative, they just don't have the money to hire someone to help promote.
Okay.
And the reality is we need to make a living, but we try to work with everyone if we can.
Okay, say I've got a product, I got a book, or I'm a sneakerhead, or I want to get Hughes It or Lose It out there. What do you all do for me? I've got the money. Okay, here you go.
Okay.
What would you do?
We would work closely with you to see what you would want to accomplish, through getting media coverage, if it's for a particular event, project, or you as a person. But primarily we would come up with a press package, like a way to pitch it to media that they could connect with, maybe it connects with some social events or activities.
So if I wanted to have an event here in town, you could help me get attention for it?
Yes.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
What would that cost me? Are you allowed to say? Are we allowed to say that, or should we just call you?
It would just depend.
Okay. All right. So if you're an author, maybe you're in a band, or you want to write a book, and you want to get publicity, PR, you would definitely want to contact Rivers Company. And what's the name of it?
Silver Seas PR. Website is silverseaspr.com.
Okay.
And we're based in Roanoke, but actually I don't think we've had any clients from Roanoke. We work nationwide.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
So who are you? Or anybody you're working with right now that stands out, or you wanted to talk about?
I'm currently working with a lady called Normandy Fisher. She has two books coming out, two double debut novels, Becalmed and Sailing Out of Darkness. But she's been this isn't the right term, a yachter.
Yeah. What were those books she's got?
Becalmed.
Be calmed.
Yeah.
Like you should be very calm, Frazier.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Sailing Out of Darkness.
Sailing Out of Darkness.
They're
okay.
releasing in the summer. But they're kind of set in a coastal town, dealing with sailing and tragedy and love and romance and all this stuff. But she likes to yacht, as I said. And so what we came up with there, after talking and getting to know her, and she's a great lady, really adventurous type lady. And so she's decided she's got a big, again, a yacht. It's a type of yacht, but I can't remember what type. But it's an ocean, like just sail on the ocean, a big one. So she's going to sail from, I think, Beaufort or somewhere like some coastal town in North Carolina, all the way up to Brooklyn. And she's going to stop on the way and have kind of like book release parties on her yacht.
Oh,
where
wow.
people come on, wine and cheese
Cool.
and all that. Yeah, and she's bringing her mother, 85-year-old mama, as she says, from the south. And I think she's got dementia. But
Oh, gosh.
So, yeah, but it's great because she's also communicating that, even if you have this condition, you can still have fun, and
Sure.
go on adventures. So her husband's going to be helping to sell the boat. And we're hoping to get some great press on it. I think it's a unique story. It's very sweet, the family going on it, and it ties in totally with our books. So we're just hoping for good weather. There's one guy, he's written a book on kind of overcoming difficult backgrounds. He was in a very dysfunctional family growing up, alcoholic parents and such like. He went into the military, and now he's a major high flyer. It's on my mind. Real high up in some nationwide huge corporation, and he's looking to hire a PR firm to get publicity for that. So that's really. I read the book, and it's amazing what he's been through and where he's come, and he seems a great guy.
Awesome,
Yeah.
awesome. Okay, well, this has been the Hughes It or Lose It radio show with your host, Frazierhughes.com, here on Fox Radio 910. Up close and personal with Roanoke's River Laker. River, tell people how they can find out about you. Find out more about you and your ventures, get in touch with you. Where are you when it comes to social media? I know you're out there.
Yeah, I would like to just mention that you talk about kind of making a name for yourself, and it's really never been about that. Although some local folks are very, very strongly vocal that it is.
Sure.
But
he just wants to get attention.
Yeah.
Well, I think
it's very tiresome.
Yeah, I hear you. But I can also tell you're passionate about having fun and living life and making a change. I mean, I think you motivate others. It's more about that.
But like I said, the Carlos Brit, that was about biking, using your own ability, to get around rather than depending on the car. Beg, Barter, Steal was using your talents. Then there was the Laker experiment about a band, starting a band, writing 10 songs, going on a tour, making a CD. And I've never written a song, never been in a band, but I did it, and musicians rallied around and helped. But the idea of that was to show people, hey, you can try something new, you don't have to know how to do it, just jump in and try.
Challenge others to come out of their comfort zone and find something inside that motivates them.
Yeah, so all the experiments involve me, but it's me doing something. So it's kind of like I use myself as the promotional vehicle to communicate something,
Sure, okay,
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, how can people find you if they want to get in touch with you?
Well, Silver Seas PR for the business, silverseaspr.com. YouTube, there's a channel, River Laker, which has a bunch of different things.
Okay.
Twitter, River Laker.
Awesome.
Video.
Easy to find.
Yeah.
So just Google River Laker.
Yeah.
All right.
You can guess what you'll come up with.
Well, all right. Well, hey, thanks for having me in your home tonight.
Thank you.
I really, really appreciate it. This has been the Hughes It or Lose It radio show with your host, Frazierhughes.com on Fox Radio 910, inside of River Laker's home, up close and personal. Have a great night. And until next time, do me a favor. Oh, actually, River, could you say Hughes It or Lose It for me?
Hughes it or lose it.
Take a shower.
It's the Hughes It or Lose It show.
Because everyone's got an opinion with Frazierhughes.com. Follow on Twitter at Hughes or Lose. Follow on Pinterest at Hughes or Lose. Like on Facebook at Frazier Hughes. Follow on YouTube at Frazierhughes.com. That's com, not .com.